So here's what I got going. I got my little shift lever, but see this linkage goes up over here. Then I've got this little guy that's going to slide back so that it mounts back there. So when I shift, it pulls that linkage back and forth. Problem is, this little square setup isn't going to work. Here's the way it's supposed to work. See how it's rounded? And that it's rounded totally at the top. And then I've got this thing that's squared off. As you can see, that's the reason why it's not working out. I'm probably going to have to fabricate or do something crazy. But I'm going to start by making this round. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And if I ruin it, then I have to get creative. Before I do that, just to get this out of the way, I'm going to put this little shift peg on. I think I got her. Yep, got her. So it'll be just like that. I just need to get a bolt in there by taking this cover off in the perfect Allen and cut it. Do that off cam. I did put a little spacer. You see that? There. I need to put a longer bolt that's really strong with a nut behind it, because that's gonna kind of take a lot of pressure there. Now that we got these working rear sets, oh yeah, time to we'll do the carb now. I'll start to put the carb on. The exhaust doesn't really fit. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit. But the goal is just to get this thing started and just let's listen to it and let's see if it runs. I'm not actually going to hook up the air filter yet, because I think the oil cooler is going to go somewhere around that area, and I might have to move some things around. So we'll just keep that off for a minute. I was thinking about it. We don't know if we're using the carburetor or fuel injection. I'm assuming carburetor, since that was an 8-pole stator, 6-pole stator. It's not going to cut the mustard. But before I mount the oil cooler, I noticed that it's all intact. You can run it just the way it is. The oil cooler is just added protection. We're just going to see if it runs. So I'm going to leave it all intact. I'm not going to do the oil cooler yet. And I'm not going to put a filter on. I'm not going to do any of that. I just want to see if it runs. But the exhaust pipe is a no-go right now. I'll show you why in a minute. But for now, I'm going to just attach the old exhaust and kind of just have it floppy sitting out there to see if we can get it going. Here's our Mickey Mouse exhaust. Let me put a battery in and we'll see if it starts. I checked the oil, there's no chain attached, it's in neutral, make sure of that. The exhaust is kicked way out. Let's try this. Blinker going. See if I'm getting spark real quick. I know I'm getting fuel, I just checked that. No spark. No spark. I put a bigger battery in and cranked it over, still nothing. So I hooked in my EVI, since it's really easy to test the spark system, ignition system with one of these. And I've determined that it's the pickup coil or some part in the stator. So I'll address that tomorrow, but dang it. 24 hours later. I figured out the problem. I actually haven't even tried to start it, but now I have spark. Let me show you what the frickin' problem was. So on the old one, I mounted the pickup coil like this. Been doing this long enough, I should know that when I take things apart, you gotta pay attention. I didn't put it how it's supposed to go. Down like that. So the pickup wasn't even close to the pickup. So that's the problem. Now, I have everything installed. I even rewired it. I got my wicked sweet cool exhaust sticking out right here. And let's see if it starts. Come on, baby. Alright, ladies and gents, you've seen it run yesterday, and now we need to see if the EFI system's going to work. So I got this totally Mickey Mouse operation going. Got my remote fuel tank there. Goes down to the fuel pump, return lines, and the fuel goes back up. I got all the electrical wires running over, so once it's running and I hook my charging system up, all I have to do is like touch this here, and you see fuel pumps. So what we're going to be looking for here is, when I hook my voltmeter up, it should be 12.5, 13.5, not above 15, not below 12 with a fully charged battery at an idle. That's how many volts we want coming out. So once I go to turn on my fuel pump, can it maintain an idle without dropping below 12 volts and maintaining a charging system so that when you're riding it, the battery's not constantly dying, you know, dwindling until basically it's dead and you're stuck. So that's what I was worried about, the stator not being big enough, not being able to charge enough for the fuel injection system. So let's try it out. I'll give you a visual right here. We're going to turn the headlight on. See, it's on right now. Let's start it. So headlight on, 13.25, 13.26, barely maintaining. So if I turn the headlight off, it goes way up. I just got off the phone with Adam. He's the owner of this Grom clone project, and I was telling him that, you know, if it idles for like 20 minutes, you're gonna probably start losing battery voltage. And we kind of both agreed that's probably not the best way to go. We don't want to have to worry about anything. The answer is a bigger stator. So I'm probably going to revisit this on my Cub, on my Honda Cub project. Maybe I'll have a stator developed, like an 11 pole, so it can handle this kind of thing. It will work for if you weren't running headlights and taillights. Then I'd feel really comfortable, like if it was a race bike. But yeah, it's not going to work. So let's move on to the next step. Grom undertail battery box dealy-do. This goes up under here like this. There's a problem because this isn't a Grom. This bracket hits, so I can't push it all the way up. Kind of expected that. So I'm going to cut a little slit. I already marked it right here for that to come through. So here's a little hole I cut. It's all like rough and stuff. I still need to clean it up, but it seems to fit really good. All the holes for the original Grom, or the Grom clone, mount up to the Grom setup. I don't think I'm going to need to cut this, but maybe. Got plenty of room for the shock. Fits in there perfectly. Then I'll have my exhaust bracket. It's gonna mount like right here. So I'm probably gonna cut away. I'll mark this and cut away a little this so I get a bolt through there. It works out pretty good. It does look a little bit haggard, but there's a secret little way. You just heat it up, a little lighter, and it starts melting the plastic, making it look way better. Here is our Mega Ultra Sweet. I don't even know how to say that. I'm not going to try. You can read it. Racing exhaust, Japanese made. Pretty sweet. And this is made for a Grom, and it's not going to work. I know that because I tried, but let me show you why. So here's the old exhaust. If you notice, there is a piece welded in to make it fit. Well, the starter is in the way. See how I have this kicked way out? So I'm going to mount that undertail exhaust up. I'll run the pipe all the way up, then I'll cut it, and then we're going to have to fab up the exhaust system to make it work. But I'm going to start mounting the back half and then we'll work our way down towards the front. So look at that beautiful piece of art and what we're working with. This is just a rough mock-up. So it comes down. Right now it's hitting the shock because come down to the engine, bam. The angle is not correct. If this area right here was pushed out just a hair, we would be fine. So I think probably what I'll do, I have to figure out where I'm gonna cut. I'm either gonna cut right up here or right down here, and then we're gonna have to basically mock it up so that we're not touching back here, all of the above. But it's gonna be a sweet undertail exhaust right there. So this is what I came up with. I cut it right at the header because this is definitely not gonna work. Look at this. If I put that there, and yeah, it's way off. So basically, to make a long story short, I'm not Mr. Welder. So I'll get it kind of ready. I'm gonna take it over and have it done.